Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're acting as a specialized analytical engine to break down a really fascinating annual expert report on severe financial scams. We aren't here to just list off generic warning signs or share a bunch of anecdotal stories, right? Instead, we're going to look strictly at the underlying mechanics of systemic exploitation. This kind of deep dive is absolutely crucial right now because threat actors, well, they've evolved. They aren't just opportunistic scammers anymore. They are sophisticated, highly organized syndicates. We're going to deconstruct exactly how these malicious actors architect their attacks, how they manipulate both human psychology and digital infrastructure, and, most importantly, how you can mathematically verify your own defenses against them.
To really grasp this, we've got to move beyond those surface-level warnings and understand that modern scams actually operate by weaponizing the system itself. Remember, this isn't about some lone hacker in a basement anymore. What we are witnessing is the literal industrialization of financial fraud. The modern threat landscape relies entirely on scale, automation, and exploiting the specific, rigid rules of bureaucratic verification systems. You see, these institutional systems operate on binary, inflexible rules. They basically just check boxes. They don't apply human intuition. Fraudsters know exactly where these rigid lines are drawn, and they know exactly how to use them against the user. It's a fascinating but incredibly dangerous evolution from simple cons to true systemic exploitation. So here is the structure for our anatomical teardown of systemic exploitation. We're moving logically through the vectors of attack, starting with psychological vectors, then system verification blind spots, the ghost preparer phenomenon, infiltrating networks, and finally, systemic defenses. Okay, Section 1, Psychological Vectors, Bypassing Human Logic. Before malicious actors can breach a secure financial network, they usually have to hack a human being first. It's all about dual psychological levers of deception deployed in unsolicited phishing messages. On one side, we have fear-based tactics. Think aggressive threats of fake legal action, imminent arrest, or an immediate account suspension. On the flip side, we have greed-based tactics, promises of inflated, completely unexpected refunds. The mechanism here is deeply calculated. By triggering an acute emotional spike, whether that's blind panic or sudden euphoria, the attacker literally shuts down the brain's executive functioning. They induce this state of cognitive bypass that totally short-circuits rational decision-making. This forces an immediate, unverified action from the victim, which is exactly the opening the attacker needs to establish a foothold. But you know, it's not just direct messaging via email or text anymore. We are seeing this massive modern phenomenon where bad advice masquerades as a clever loophole on social media, essentially tricking victims into perjury. Take the promotion of off-road commercial fuel allowances, for example. Viral posts convince regular people to claim this highly specific credit, even if they just commute to a normal office job in a sedan. They actively encourage forging income data just to manipulate the processing algorithms. The victim is sold the illusion of a clever life hack, but the systemic reality is drastically different. By submitting this, the victim isn't outsmarting the system at all. They are actually generating an immutable, legally binding digital signature of fraud. They are effectively committing perjury based on the advice of a random stranger on the internet. Moving into Section 2, System Verification Blind Spots, or weaponizing automated checks. Let's trace the cause and effect relationship of how this verification trap actually works. Fraudsters deeply understand that automated systems are just looking for specific matching data points. Step 1, falsified income is entered, maybe based on that social media loophole we just talked about. Step 2, the document is submitted electronically. Step 3 is where the trap snaps shut. The automated verification immediately fails because the fabricated data doesn't match official institutional records. And finally, Step 4, the account, along with any legitimate refunds, is frozen pending a rigorous manual review. When fabricated data is entered, the cause and effect mechanism forces severe processing delays. The system's own defense mechanism, that automated freeze, becomes the ultimate punishment for the victim.
Now for Section 3, the Ghost Preparer Phenomenon, Asymmetrical Risk Transfer. We're moving away from digital algorithms for a second to look at a critical vulnerability in the professional sphere. A ghost preparer orchestrates the fraud but completely refuses to provide professional identification, architecting a brilliant one-way risk transfer. These are individuals who charge you a fee to prepare your financial and tax documents, and they'll often promise massive, mathematically impossible returns. But crucially, when the paperwork is all done, they refuse to physically or digitally sign it as the preparer. The economic incentive for the fraudster here is absolutely perfect. They secure their lucrative fee up front in cash while leaving the toxic asset, the fraudulent return itself, entirely in the hands of the victim to submit. By withholding their signature, the architect ensures that the legal liability falls entirely on you. It is a brilliant, albeit totally malicious legal maneuver. By omitting their professional identification number, the preparer effectively erases themselves from the transaction entirely. Because the signature is missing, the bureaucratic system views the taxpayer as the sole author of the perjury. It becomes legally near impossible to prove the ghost preparer even existed in the first place. The preparer monetizes the fraud, sure, but they offload 100% of the legal, financial, and institutional risk right onto the client. Zooming out to the macro level, we hit Section 4, Infiltrating Networks, the Macro Threat. So why do malicious actors target financial professionals instead of just going after individual taxpayers? Well, the answer lies in the sheer mathematics of the payout. If you're a highly skilled cyber criminal, the return on investment for hacking one regular citizen's laptop is honestly incredibly low. I mean, why pick one lock when you can just steal the master key? A professional breach yields a massive force multiplier. Think about it. An individual breach gives you exactly one identity and zero secondary access. But a professional breach, like hacking a certified accountant or a financial firm, yields hundreds, sometimes thousands of pristine, fully complete data sets. But wait, it gets worse. More importantly, it grants direct deposit routing control. The attacker can silently reroute the payouts to their own offshore accounts before the professional or the clients even realize the network has been compromised. It completely transforms a singular crime into a mass casualty financial event. This level of access is almost always executed via new client spear phishing, where a malicious email attachment deploys a remote access Trojan or a rat to hijack client data. Basically, the attacker poses as a potential new client sending an inquiry. The warning signs are usually pretty subtle: double or awkward greetings, forced urgency, maybe seemingly benign requests just asking about availability. But the trap snaps shut the second the professional opens the attached tax documents. Because the professional willingly, albeit unknowingly, executes the payload from inside their own network, the Trojan bypasses standard external firewalls entirely. This gives the attacker full visibility and silent, unchecked control over the professional's digital infrastructure. Finally, Section 5, Systemic Defenses and Proactive Protocols. Let's explore some non-obvious, actionable protocols that actually fortify against these systemic breaches. Because, let's be real, hoping you aren't targeted is simply not a valid security strategy. We're looking at 3 structural pillars: identity protection pins, multi-factor authentication, and written information security plans. These 3 pillars move defenses from passive, reactive observation to proactive, systemic fortification. These aren't merely IT suggestions. They form an interlocking architecture of defense that mathematically degrades an attacker's ability to operate within your systems. Let's really focus on the IP pin because it's an incredibly powerful, actionable insight. It mathematically prevents a hacker from utilizing a stolen identity to submit an electronic return. Think of the profound asymmetry here. A hacker might possess a literal supercomputer, your social security number, your home address, your dependents, and your bank details. But without that specific, rotating 6-digit code, their technological advantage is reduced to zero. The system's automated gates remain firmly closed,
The fraudulent submission is categorically rejected by the server before it can ever even be processed. It takes the power completely out of the hands of the hacker and puts a hard, unyielding wall right in front of their automated scripts. I want you to think about the number 500 for a second. This represents the potential number of days a victim's legitimate return can be delayed due to the systemic friction caused by a fraudster. If you do not have an IP PIN and a hacker successfully files a fake return in your name first, the system just locks up. Untangling that massive knot requires you to file a manual, paper-based identity theft affidavit. You are suddenly thrust into a massive bureaucratic backlog. This reactive process can leave your legitimate assets frozen and your financial identity in total limbo for over a year and a half. This highlights exactly why proactive prevention is so incredibly vital.
I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to evaluate your own systemic vulnerabilities. Are your data security assumptions based on hope, or are they mathematically verified? In the modern landscape of industrialized financial fraud, relying on the assumption that you're too small to be targeted means you are already compromised. Implement the barriers, understand the true mechanics of the threat, and take control of your systemic defenses. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay vigilant, and I will see you next time.